So, the JEE main exam is over, and you know exactly what happens next, right? That massive wave of panic that just floods the internet, especially for all you NEET aspirants out there. The big question starts flying around. Hey, JEE was really tough this year. Does that mean NEET is going to be a nightmare? Well, today, we're going to put that myth to bed once and for all.
This is it. This is the question that causes so much unnecessary stress in those last crucial weeks of preparation. But you know what? Instead of getting lost in all the speculation and what-ifs, let's actually look at the data. We're going to find a real, fact-based answer to this.
Okay, let's dive right in. This whole post-GE freakout, it's not new. It's practically an annual tradition at this point. So in this explainer, we're going to break that cycle. We are going to separate the facts from the fear.
I mean, you've seen it. It's so predictable you could set your watch to it. Someone posts online, "Whoa, physics in JEE was a beast. Get ready for a brutal NEET paper." And just like that, it spreads like wildfire. But here's the thing. That whole argument is completely baseless. And today, we're going to show you why. All right, before we look back at history, let's quickly break down the paper that kicked off all the drama this year, JEE Main 2026. Because understanding what was actually in that paper gives us some serious clues about what the exam setters are really focused on.
So, let's start with chemistry. The general vibe was moderate. It wasn't a cakewalk, but it wasn't impossible either. There were definitely some memory-based questions, the kind designed to catch you off guard. But the real key was how they took core NCERT concepts and kind of twisted them, forcing you to think a little deeper. Inorganic was straight from the NCERT textbook, while physical chemistry had some pretty long questions. But overall, if you were well prepared, it was manageable.
Now for physics, the subject everyone was talking about. And here's the interesting part. The paper was actually pretty doable. About 60% of it followed the standard patterns you'd expect. The real challenge came from questions that mixed multiple concepts together. And we saw a bigger focus on topics students sometimes skim over, like EM waves, semiconductors, and EMI and AC. Funny enough, that's a trend we've been seeing in NEET as well.
So here's the real takeaway. The JEE paper wasn't just hard for the sake of being hard. It was designed to test how you think. It was all about deep conceptual understanding and your ability to apply what you know. It wasn't about difficulty, it was about depth.
Okay, that was this year. Now for the main event. Let's dig into the data from past years. Is there any real concrete proof that a tough JEE paper actually leads to a tough NEET paper? Let's find out.
Just look at the track record since the NTA took over. It speaks for itself. In 2019, JEE Main was called one of the toughest ever. But NEET that year, it was a good paper, but definitely not the toughest. Then jump to 2022. JEE Main was officially called the toughest paper NTA had ever set. So NEET must have been impossible, right? Nope. It was actually considered easier than the NEET paper from 2021. The pattern is, there is no pattern. The correlation just isn't there.
So, the verdict is in, and it's crystal clear. Trying to predict how hard your NEET paper will be based on the JEE exam is a completely flawed strategy. The only thing it's good for is creating anxiety and wasting your precious mental energy. Okay, so if we can't control the paper's difficulty, what can we do? This is where we make a huge shift in our mindset. It's time to stop worrying about the things you can't change and start absolutely mastering the things you can.
This right here is the most important piece of advice you will hear. You have a finite amount of time and energy between now and your exam. You have to invest it where it counts, on the things that you can actually influence, the things that will directly boost your score. Think of it this way. On one side, you have the uncontrollables, how tough the paper will be, what weird question pattern the NTA comes up with, how well other students are doing, and all that online noise. Wasting a single second on that stuff is a losing game. On the other side, the controllables, the quality of your practice, how clear you are on your concepts, mastering those high-yield topics, and managing your time. That is where you win the game. So, let's turn this idea into a simple, powerful plan that you can start using, well, right now. This isn't just about feeling less stressed. It's about preparing smarter and building that real, rock-solid confidence you need on exam day.
It's a simple three-step strategy. First, figure out those high-yield topics, the ones that give you the biggest bang for your buck, and absolutely master them. Second, go deeper than just memorizing facts and formulas. You have to understand the why behind them so you can tackle those tricky application-based questions. And third, Practice with a purpose. Focus on high-quality questions that actually build your problem-solving skills, not just doing thousands of random problems.
And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? In these final weeks, the game changes. It's not about the quantity of questions you solve, it's all about the quality. The goal is to practice the right things, and to practice them in a way that actually makes you better.
So I want to leave you with this one question. I want you to really think about it. Look back at how you've spent your study time this past week. Were you focused on those uncontrollables, getting caught up in the stress and speculation? Or was every minute invested in the controllables, the things that will actually define your success? Your answer to that question could change everything.